is Saturday, the 30th of December, 2023. That is it. It's like one day and we're done. That's it. How was Christmas? How's holiday season? The thing with this time of year for me, I never know what day it is. It's a Saturday, I know, but it could be any day of the week. It could be a Tuesday, it could be a Friday. This is our last live before the new year. We do have the days leading up to the new year are often quiet. Not this particular year, not this specific year. If anything, I would say there are two things which are about to happen in the opening days of 2024. And they're both subjects which I'd love to get your opinion. In fact, you know what we're going to do? Just because we know it doesn't sit very well with them, we're going to take your opinion. All right. So the two questions, I think Tuesday or Wednesday, the list of Jeffrey Epstein's guests on his island, we all know what happened there, will be published. So does anybody have a thought as to whether Trump will be on that list? If you have your phone in front of you, just type yes or no. Trump was on that list, or no, he wasn't on the list, as in he was Epstein's guest. I'd love to know your thought. And then the other thing that we will be asking your opinion on, we've heard what's happened in Colorado and Maine, where Trump has been removed from the ballot. What are your thoughts? The reason I say that is because something I find fascinating, it doesn't matter what the subject is, the Trumpy Trumps are never happy. Even on Christmas Day, they're upset. On Christmas Day, they're upset. New Year's Eve, they'll be upset. They're always upset. So just a straightforward question for starters. It's a yes or no. We'll do the vote. Would you ban Trump from standing and running in the election? Just yes or no. Not on political grounds, because that allows them to play the victim. And that's a little bit, well, you know, Trump said he's going to be a dictator. That isn't really democracy. This is literally a straight question. Would you ban Trump for the insurrection, and in terms of there is somebody who appears not to be a supporter of democracy? I'm an outsider looking in, so I'd love to know your thoughts and views. Should Trump be banned from the election? Yes or no? Karen DeMenti says, I think all 50 states should ban him. What do you think? Should Trump be banned? Yes or no? Tell me what state you're in. Please, what state are you in? What do you think about what's happened in Colorado and Maine? Looking at Colorado, it's kind of interesting because many people would say that, happy hand job herself, Lauren Boebert, perhaps should be banned. I don't really think should ban people just because they don't know how to do a hand job. But let's look at Colorado, where Trump has been removed from the election ballot. Now, clearly, it's going to go to court and he'll probably be back on it. And it allows him, while the ban's happening, to play the victim. What do you think? All right. Just yes or no, should Trump be banned? Jeanette Pine says, yes, no character. There's pics of him with Epstein. Funny how he's dead now. So, again, it's a yes or no. We're just running two polls at the same time. Was he Epstein's guest? And should Trump be banned from the election? You can either go yes, no, yes, yes, no, no. All right. It's two questions. Many people will have the same answer. What about you? Please, need your thoughts and answers now. And by the way, if you have a phone, we'd love to. America asks. Okay, we're asking the question because I'm an outsider looking in. One thing I do want to do in 2024 is hear more of your thoughts, your views, your opinions. If you have a mobile phone, you just click that link. Let me put this link again. Okay, I'd love to hear from you. You don't need to show your face. All right, let me just put the link up there. That is the last link. Just click on that link. That's all you have to do. Click on this link and you come directly through to the studio. Haven't got to fill in any forms, haven't got to give any emails or anything like that, and you don't need to show your face. Do you need to hear your voice, by the way? Because that kind of is important. Without your voice, well, we'll be a little bit lost. So as I was saying, the thing I don't get is why are Republicans or the Trump Republicans always so upset? always so wanting to play the victim? Because on both these subjects, you can tell before we've even really had a decision, they're playing the victim. So Trump banned for the election. He's being silent. He can't speak. He can't speak. And the number one thing they are saying, and this is the thing, if you are voting yes, ban him, how are we going to deal, with this question, with this scenario, that he'll play the victim? And he will claim he would have won. He would have won tremendously or bigly, whatever the word is. Yeah? How are we going to deal with that if it is banned? Because that allows him to say, well, look what happened. And it's all political. But at the moment, we are asking the question. Let's just stick with the election 2024. So if we look at what happened with the insurrection on Jan 6, at the moment, so many paths lead to the doorstep of former guy. So on that alone, ask yourself, just on that, seriously, take a few seconds, whatever you're doing this Saturday, ask yourself, just on that, is this the guy that should be on the ballot? Is this the guy who believes in democracy? Is this the guy who believes in winners and losers? Because this appears to be somebody who loses, but when he loses, it's everyone else's fault apart from his own. So it's a question. Don't hang around. Don't think, I don't need to take part, because it is the only opportunity we have to kind of understand how you feel, how you see it. Should Trump be banned from election 2024? Yes or no? Let's see what some people have had to say. Right, there we go here. Jane Aston says, yes, Trump should be banned. She actually says, we're also asking a question about Epstein, which we'll go into in a little bit more detail in a moment. Yes, he was on the island. And what have we got down here? Mary Delaris Barnett says, Karen Demet, I totally agree with you, as in he should be removed from the ballot. What do you think? It takes a second. Please pick up your phone. It literally takes 1 second. Tell us, should he be banned? Yes, Trump should be banned, says Very Rogue. Mash Tato, Republicans have nothing good to run on, so the victim is their stance. That is interesting because it's something which appears to be the new political norm. Once it appears the argument isn't going for you, you then put into the narrative, oh, well, there's reasons the argument isn't going for them. So let's just take a look at censorship. There was, going into the last election, all of this, I'm being censored, I can't say this. People like Ted Cruz say, my platform's being taken away from me. Matt Gaetz, my platform's being taken away from me. Jim Jordan, they're coming for you and they're coming for me, etc. Yet these people were on cable news non-stop, were on social media non-stop. But you would think that they are like, literally, have never been able to speak since they came out of nappies. Same type of poo you could say they're coming out with. So there is that situation, which I do ask, why do they play the victim? Mush, please tell me, why do they play the victim? Not only should Trump be banned, but many other Republican members should be as well. Like who? Come back at me, Mush. Who else should be banned? And as I said, it's really important here that we don't fall into a trap. Yeah? It's a trap! Because I think they would like you to be in the trap. We got them in the trap. We got them where we wanted them to. They have fallen into the trap. That is, if you start putting a lot of bans around, do we get to the situation where, look, it's all political. That's what they do in dictators. Yeah, ban them all. If they ban us. But having said that, I'm sure if you ask James Cromwell or Jim Jordan, a few people like that, there's quite a few Democrats, given an opportunity, they would like to remove from politics. Not based on anything where a level of democracy takes place, as in you vote, your neighbors vote, your friends vote, and the winner takes it all. No, just because, well, these people may speak the truth, and the truth could be that Jim Jordan's a wrong one. Don't say it too loud. Karen Dementi, everybody knows Trump is the biggest liar on the face of the earth. That is an interesting one, okay? Can we name any other liars that you have spotted in 2023? In fact, let me just type this in. Name me some liars from, one second, I can't write it. Name me some liars from 2023. Let's put that up, actually. 1 second. Name me some lies in 2023. So it's the main question, though, is should Trump be banned? Should he be removed from the election? What else have we got down here? Let's see what's here. GDR Cinnamon Pony says he shouldn't even be allowed to run for president. Look what he's done and what he is doing now. He should be banned. But what is he doing now? Because to me, there is something where, is it a lot of hot air? Is it just all social media talk? Because there are a lot of people, and one thing which has been significant in 2023, whichever way you look at it, is the role that social media plays in terms of you can be somebody who has no friends in real life, right? Billy no mates is a London expression. Yet you can say something, I don't know, Ted Cruz is intelligent, said nobody. You could say Ted Cruz is intelligent. Suddenly, a load of Republicans who are on the Trumpy Trump side will repeat it, retweet it, and suddenly, look, whoa, my ego is going good. I've got 22 retweets, and that means that I'm important. Which is that's kind of a simplistic way of looking at it in terms of where social media actually is. Because I would say that Trump is really just at this stage, a reality artist turned president, losing president, now uses social media to spin the narrative. You then have cable radio as well, cable radio, AM radio, and cable news stations that go along this same, it's always a victim. There's always a certain amount of scare, and there's always a certain amount of, it's all against us. But one thing they all have in common is they're trying to make money. All right. So if we look at the people on social media, let's look at the people on Twitter or X or whatever it's called, just for the time being. And by the way, if you are on your phone, please, please, please join the conversation. And let me just put up, click. I'm going to type it in. Excuse me while I type. Click this link and join us live. Because I really would love to know your thoughts. All right, click this. Let me click this link and join us live. Right, yeah. So I was explaining what's going on with social media at the moment, with regards even those who they're trying to be reactionary. They're trying to say something to get a reaction, but they know if they put a blue tick and they say something really outrageous, they've got a lot of reaction. And what actually that enables them to do is to monetize the hate, monetize the controversy. Yep, because they get adverts. That's literally what is going on. And I said this to somebody directly. You know, I'd actually say 95% of those that you see saying something ridiculously stupid, ridiculously silly, ridiculously embarrassing, just something that, you know, given a choice, you wouldn't sit next to that individual on a plane. Yeah, they wouldn't repeat it in public. I've been on quite a few planes recently because I've been traveling over the Christmas period. And let's face it, you never know who you're going to sit next to. Yeah. And I hazard a guess, I've sat next to at least one person who's probably active on social media. But, and this is proven, next time you get on a bus, train, or if you're in the supermarket, yeah, I doubt that somebody's going to be screaming and screeching in the same way that they do on social media. And a lot of that is just bravado. And that's what Trump is doing. It's bravado. He's playing the game. All right. Please, if you have a phone, all right, I'm going to put the link out again. If you have a phone, click this link. Join us live. Okay. If you have a phone, you just click this link and you come through directly to us. Okay, it's streamyard.com/KQ5RR86KBW. We're asking two very important questions. All right, because we're going to leave this up because we know it pisses them off a little bit. Jim Jordan. And the reason I know this is so I don't think they've worked it out. On LinkedIn, if somebody searches for you, it comes up that they've been searching for you. Strangely enough, of all the people that searched me, Hannity's producer at Fox. And I don't get that because I was literally looking through. I mean, I'm not always on LinkedIn, but I was literally looking through, and since you repeated all these searches, and it says, who's looked at you? Han is his producer. What does he want? Oh, dear. So I will ask this question again, all right? Very, very simple. Should Trump be banned from election 2024? Was he on Epstein's island? Yes or no? All right, it is a yes or no. Was he on Epstein's island, and should he be banned from the election 2024? So let's talk about Jeffrey Epstein. This list is going to be published, I think it's on January the 2nd. And it's going to be interesting because, going back to my favorite subject, social media, there are those that are trying to say that former president of maybe a Democratic kind will be named. You can't have it both ways, because they put out a load of fake lists, and the fake lists just include the usual suspects. I suppose anyone who's paid Elon Musk for the money is going to, well, is going to think, I don't like these people. But the real list, what are they going to do when this list comes out, and if the former guy is on it? Which is, while we're waiting here, that's the question. Do you think he was on the island? Yes or no? It's a really important question. You can't just look at it. It is not something you can just say, oh, I'm not taking part. You have to have an opinion. And the reason I say you've got to have an opinion is because this is somebody who potentially wants to be president again, wants to be the most powerful and important person in the world, all right? Wants to represent you. Go through your phone. This is the person who could be our, well, in charge. And so we're allowed to ask the question, did at any stage he visit an island where we know was basically a cesspool of pedophilia, right? Did Trump visit that island? Now, was he on Trump's plane? Was Epstein on Trump's plane? Was Trump on Epstein's plane? Do you have a thought and opinion? Somebody said, well, because Trump was on Epstein's plane, he never went on Epstein's plane when it went to an island. Is that good enough? Just a straight question right now. We've asked this about Jim Jordan before. We've asked this about Lauren Boebert. But a straight question right now. If you were talking amongst your friends, there's nobody really listening, and you were asked the question, do you think Trump, back in the day when there wasn't social media, there wasn't this type of real, magnifying glass and everything that happened, just ask yourself, go on, take 5 seconds, ask yourself, if you were just amongst your people and the subject of Jeffrey Epstein came up and Trump, would you say yes or no, Trump went to an Epstein party on the island? Because when you're president, I gather that allows you to, I wouldn't use the word cover up, but hide things. So we're allowed to ask the question and you're allowed to give your view, right? Right now, all right? Okay? Right now, that's all I want to concentrate for the next 2 minutes. Got a few other things that have come up, I've noticed in the conversation, but just a yes or no. If you have your phone, it's easy. Just a yes or no. All right. Smash that like button. That's what my son keeps on saying. He says, Daddy, you've got to say, smash that like button more. Go on, smash that like button. I apologize. But no, I'm being serious. This is a really serious subject, and I apologize for the frivolity. What do you think? What is your heart telling you? All right. If you're talking to somebody within your family now, all right, you might have young kids. Your son says to you, your daughter says to you, Daddy, Mummy, the former losing president, do you think he was on Epstein's island? What is your answer going to be? Because that's the root of it. Is it a yes or is it a no? Because one thing that can never be swayed is public opinion. That's why they put out all of these polls, by the way, because they think if we say what the public are saying, other people will follow. So come January the 2nd, we might not even be able to talk about this in the way we can. But what we can do now is talk in an honest way. We've got nothing to lose. Please, all right, I'm going to spend another minute on this. Just ask yourself, right? It takes you less than 5 seconds to put in the answer, all right? Was the former president ever, in your opinion, that's no one else's opinion, just your opinion, right? It's not like a survey or anything. Do you think he ever went to Epstein's island? Yes or no? It's not controversial. It's not spinning. It's not fake news. It is just an opinion, because opinions count. It's just a yes or no. Because in 2 days' time, it's going to be very difficult for you to say anything without saying, yeah, following the crowd. But where are you thinking now? Because if your answer is no, then the subject goes away. If your answer is yes, then that has huge connotations in terms of, well, this is a guy that wants to be president. Because if it's yes, how does the evangelical vote stand up? Because somebody needs to explain that, because I'm quite confident that amongst the evangelical world, paedophilia is not something that gets a thumbs up. So again, yes or no? Let's see what we've got down here. Cheryl Millard. Trump loves to grab women's kitty cat, so there's no smoke without a fire. All right. D. Randolph says yes. What else do we have down here? Thomas Brown says yes. Yes, he was on the island. Trump was civilly convicted for E. Jean Carroll's sexual abuse, rape, defamation case. And with all of these situations, it's always, why does it always come out when probably the individuals have worked out how to spin it? Like, have you seen this story about Paula Abdul? You know, Paula Abdul, singer, dancer, choreographer, and also judge on reality shows like, I think it's So You Think You Can Dance, Pop Idol. Was it? Sorry, no, Pop Idol. What's it? American Idol. So, yeah. Well, she has accused the producer, executive producer, Nigel Lithgow, of sexual assault and various other sexual allegations, which have happened periodically. The historical allegations these are, and they're not particularly pleasant. And with all of these, you kind of think they come out probably when the damage that could be done is maybe a little bit lower. But in former guy's case, this is a situation which is imperative. It's imperative you have your view. It's imperative we get to the truth, because you then ask the question, seriously, guy comes and knocks at your door. All right. Right now, for example, Nigel Lithgow, he's the executive producer of American Idol. I'm sure he's going to be somewhere at New Year, family event, whatever. The question will be asked is, have you got a reaction to what Paula said? Because she's come out with some very hard-hitting evidence. Everybody will have an opinion on it. They really, really will. No one's asked Simon Cowell, but you can guarantee he's got an opinion on it. So that is Nigel Lithgow. He's a TV producer, all right? This is somebody that wishes to be president, that wishes to represent America. Now, forget about those that are on Twitter shouting out garbage. Forget about those that are on Fox News pushing garbage. This is a really, really important question. In your mind, does the person who wants to be responsible for controlling finances, housing, schools, health, controlling the international process and discussion, is he somebody who went to parties on an island of pedophiles? It's just a yes or no, because in 2 days' time, we'll have the information and we'll probably not be able to discuss it in the same way now, because this is all about how you feel before opportunities to spin, change, or whatever. Because whatever happens on January the 2nd, there will be spinning, there will be pushing. Look what happened, blah, 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 blah. Now that list isn't out. Now is an open, honest opportunity for you to have your say. I was reading today all of the different comments with regards Nigel Lithgow and Paula Abdul. People have an opinion on that. So if you've got an opinion on a TV producer and a TV reality star making accusations, yeah, people had an opinion on OJ. Who's the guy who used to do Bill Cosby? Everybody had an opinion on Bill Cosby. So you have an opinion on those. What is your opinion on Trump? All right. We're just getting yes, 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 yes. I'd say multiple times. Yes, this evidence of Trump hanging out with Epstein. So it's just a yes or no. Okay, let's go back to election 24 with regards, let's leave the Epstein situation alone for a moment. Is it right? What is the message that's being sent out? So think about right now, I have a child at school, which means when you know, somebody at school, you got to meet with the headmaster, you got to look at the stats. You need to know who is your child's teacher. All right, I've got to use my personal situation. It's the only way I can really explain it to you. So you want to know who is your child's teacher. It's a bit like, who's your babysitter? Or who is looking after your house? Or look, if you have older parents, who's looking after them? You do a bit of due diligence. You kind of know what they're all about. Would you want somebody, just for 1 second, you've got an impressionable child. Would you want somebody who's led an insurrection, who didn't really appear to do anything on January the 6th, who appears to have had people like Jim Jordan around him? Yeah, people who have a problem with the truth. Would you want, right now, Trump, Jim Jordan, Ted Cruz, and I'm being serious, take the politics out of it. Were they the sort of people that you could see being a teacher, having a say in the education of your children? And it's not a frivolous question. It's a really serious, important point. Think of all the things you have to learn in life. How to read, how to write, mathematics, a bit of history, maybe some English literature, science, physics, chemistry, biology. I'm going through all of these things because they're really responsible, serious subjects. Okay? So the teacher that's going to teach your child, or you, if you're going into education, you'd like to think has some level of qualifications. Yeah, something that makes them, yeah, do you know what? Their reputation, everything they've done it, you can believe it. You are going to check left, right, and center. You're really going to do your due diligence. You're teaching my son. You're teaching my daughter. Oh, I'm going to be. You're going to come and look after my parents. You check it out. So surely it should be anybody who's a politician should have the most reputable, just the best person possible to represent you. All right, represent you. Nobody else. Represent you. Let's like water down Jan 6, as a lot of people are doing. Imagine that was your home and it'd be ransacked. People that urinated, made a mess, turned everything upside down, put the pictures all over the TV. And you knew somebody who did nothing was the teacher. Yeah? Would you really, hand on heart, and this is half the thing, take the politics out of it, put your hand on heart, would you really want that person to carry on teaching you, your child, or if they're looking after older people? Is that the person that you would like, you would want? Because it's the same thing. We're looking at the former guy, right? And some people say, well, Tony, it's democracy. You're probably going to say, no, you don't want that person looking after your kids, teaching your kids, caring for any elderly people, probably not even controlling the traffic in your high street. So if you're doing that level of due diligence, it is a fair question to ask then, would you give it a choice and take the politics out of it? This is a guy who on Jan 6 did what and now wants to stand for election again. Just answer the question. Yes or no. All right. Do you want him in charge? What have we got down here? There we go. Mash Tattoo. Trump isn't qualified to watch a hamster. Cheryl Millard said, I looked up to my teachers. It is so true. I was just thinking the other day, teacher I had when I was about 9 or 10, Miss Stamper, who literally told us to, shh, Tony, you're talking too much in class. Wow, talking too much, you tell where that came from. But no, the teacher was somebody you looked up to with a level of respect. You know, they have such an important role. Politicians, I didn't really understand an awful lot of politics, but you thought if you were a leader of your country, you were a respectable, honest, straightforward person. Anyone who was corrupt in politics would be found out, would be removed. But how come sometimes the worst of the worst appears to be in charge? What's happened in Florida recently? What happened in Florida? Was it liberties for mothers? I don't know. Mothers, if something happened. Why is there always scandal attached to politics? Right, there is scandal around the former president of the United States of America. Straightforward. It doesn't need me to go, oh, Alex Jones, this guy's crazy. It doesn't. I don't need to start shouting for attention and going mad. It is a straightforward, basic situation and scenario. You have somebody that wants to control your life. Take your phone. Yeah. Imagine somebody literally pressing a button, do this, do that. All right. If you allowed that to happen, which I suppose we kind of do with governments, you're going to have some level of responsibility. You're going to take charge of it. When New Year comes and New Year's Eve, you may have a celebration or so. You decide how much you're going to drink and when you're going to drink it. And if not, you have responsible people around you. You're not just going to get in a car drunk. You're not going to do it. It's not responsible. Think about all the things you have to do which are responsible. Think of it. Go through the list right now. Let me get this question up again. All right? Go through the list right now of all the things you've got to do which are responsible. Do me a favor. All right? If you have WhatsApp or any form of communication on your phone, text somebody. Message them right now. Just message them and tell me what you get. And the question is going to be, all right, give you the question. Would you want Trump to control every aspect of your life? Yeah? Because that is really what is happening here. All right? Because within the Republican Party, it would appear there isn't going to be any kind of, well, you have opinion here. It is going to be all of Trump, and it's based on bitterness. This is the scariest thing. It's not based on a fiscal situation. Liz Cheney has a different fiscal policy, I would say, to someone like Dan Goldman or AOC. Yeah? So you can say, well, maybe I agree or disagree with the way she fiscally would like to control the country. But former guy, this isn't somebody who's bothered really about housing, medical, schools, or any of that stuff. This is somebody, his own daughter, like Ivanka Trump, even Jared, they don't want to know. This guy wants to control you. Yeah? Is this the right guy to control you? We've worked out he's probably not the best person to be educating your kids. Probably not the best person to even be like stacking the shelves in the supermarket. But no one's saying anything because I'm going to ask the question again. It's got to be the time. It's Saturday. Yes or no? Just give me a yes or no. That's all on. We're going to leave it all up. Yes or no. What have we got down here? Should Trump be banned from election 2024? Let's read some of what we've got down here. Where we go. I am a few minutes late, started from the beginning, said Debbie Baker. Oh my God, no. Lisa Roster, how about hell no? Yes, yes, yes. Dee Dee Randolph. It's just a yes or no. All right? Just a yes or no. You can hate the channel, you can like the channel, you can smash the like button, but we're asking this question. All right? The general opinion appears to be that Trump was on Epstein's island, but just a straightforward question. Should Trump be banned from election 2024? While you give me an answer, there's something I wanted to check here, actually. I'm going to Google Trump on my phone, and I'm going to see what it says when you put in Trump, because I like to be fair here. I do like to be fair and get some honest so when you read all of this, it's interesting because the defense from, I'm just literally looked at it through, the defense from those who want Trump can do anything as far as they're concerned. They appear to have a problem with the fact that Obama served 2 terms and Trump served 1. It's all based on real bitterness. There is no truth in it. There's no truth in terms of, well, let's find out the facts. And that's the thing I'm trying to understand. Why are so many people, and there are people out there, let's not kid ourselves, right? There are people out there who really do believe that Trump is the best thing since sliced bread. Why is that? All right? And not politically, but why are they so full of hate, full of angst, full of the world is so bad? Yes, the world has financial problems. Yes, the world has a few situations like in the Middle East, which do cause us to lose sleep. But I'm sure you've hugged at least one person this year. There have been some good moments this year, but you never hear that. I'm serious. You scroll through anyone, 9 times out of 10, it's easy to spot the Trumpy Trumps. They have a blue tick. They paid Elon Musk for it. They just appear to be depressed. Obama made a very, very good point, right? President Barack Obama made a very good point. When Trump first took power, he said, "You're in charge now, and you're still upset. Look, Matt Gaetz and co, you've run the House, and what a mess." Tell me anybody, if we look at 2023, anybody who feels the House was run well. You had McCarthy there, started off in charge, Brown booted out. Yeah? How many times did they try and elect a new speaker? And this guy Johnson, don't know how long he's there. Clearly a mouthpiece. Clearly, I'm a puppet on Trump's string. I do what Trump says. If he says jump, I jump. How high? Wish I could sing. But you get my drift. All right? They're in charge. All right? All of these people moaning and complaining. Tucker Carlson started at Fox, is now on Twitter. All right? You don't need to watch any of his broadcasts. It's all whinging, moaning, and complaining. Whinging, moaning, and complaining. Fox News, drunk Janine Pirro. Sorry, Judge Janine, traffic judge Pirro. Whining, moaning, complaining. Hannity, as his producer, checking me out. Whining, moaning, complaining. What's going on here? Because they always say, who is it they accuse of being un-American? I think Rashid Tlaib, one of the squad, un-American. Yeah, they run it down every single time. I guarantee you now, I just looked to see what people were saying about Trump. All of those in Trump's camp, oh, it's so bad, it's so like, it isn't. Things aren't always brilliant anywhere, but it isn't really this ladder depression that they're putting out. So we'll just ask the question again, right? Got a few minutes left. If you've not voted, vote now. We'll leave it all up. Yes or no, right? Should Trump be banned from election 2024? Colorado has said yes. Maine has said yes. More places are probably going to say yes. Yes, it'll go to the High Court, probably the Supreme Court, and he won't be banned. But it is a statement. Yeah, it is something which is there because right now, I've looked at the debates. What do you got? Chris Christie, Ron DeSantis. Have you ever seen those scenes in where they do hospital dramas? What do they? Is it electrodes they do to resuscitate? They go 100, they jump back. I'd say that Ron DeSantis' campaign is on life support. Don't know how long it's got to go. Chris Christie is never going to win anything, but he will win a shouting match. And the other guy, Vivek, is just, well, Vivek. I'll do an impression of Vivek. Nothing. So I don't think any of those candidates are. Don't say Nikki Haley. I mean, this is how Nikki Haley sees herself, as being potentially a VP for Trump. There you go. So they aren't really doing anything to bring about some positive possible question of the former guy, so it's left to us. All right. And I don't think he's going to be banned. I don't think he should be banned, if you want to know my opinion. But I do think it's good that the question is asked, and he's felt a little bit of pressure because he's got to go to court. He's got to get the decision overturned. And in doing that, he has to talk about January the 6th, because so far, all right, he has been able to, how should we say, not really have any heavy discussions on Jan 6th. Hasn't. Who's pushed Trump in the corner on Jan 6th? How many interviews has he done? Somebody calculated he's done like something like 240 hours worth of talk time on Fox. Yeah? And it's all the same old rubbish. Not one person has actually said, let's take the politics out of it. Jan 6th, your vice president, Mike Pence, was running for his life because some of your supporters were going, hang Mike Pence. Where were you? Jim Jordan was giving you phone calls. Was he giving you phone calls to saying, stop what's going on, say something? Your own daughter, according to her words, was begging you to stop. Your own wife, Melania, do you know what, Melania Trump, Is it a prenup? Melania Trump must be negotiating something. What have we got down here? People are just having a conversation within themselves. It's, the questions change. The questions change so fast. No, it's only one question. All right. We've done. All right. Do you know what? Since somebody's saying the question, I'll just leave it. Let me just type it out. Should 1 second. Should Trump be banned from? Not banned, actually, it's the wrong word. As I said, removed from the 2024 election ballot. I don't like the word banned. Election. Let me just see if I can find one thing. Press that. I want to see how do you remove let me just see if I can find how you remove somebody from the election, because it would be interesting to see how you actually do it. How do you remove a name from the ballot? Because I think it's a question other people, how to remove from the ballot. It's a question I'm confident other people. All right, I'll quote from the BBC. I think it's a reliable source. The 14th Amendment plan to disqualify Trump explained. A long-shot legal bid in multiple US states to disqualify Trump from the 2024 US presidential ballot has led to him being kicked off the ballot in Colorado and Maine. The strategy involves trying to block Mr. Trump from the primary ballot by invoking a rarely used provision of the US Constitution, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. That bars those who have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the country from holding federal office. Initially backed by liberal activists, the theory that Mr. Trump was ineligible to run for the presidency after the January 6th Capitol riot did not gain more prominence, but in recent months, as some conservatives have also embraced it. That's interesting. The Colorado Supreme Court was the first to offer legal backing to the idea and the ruling on the 19th of December that Mr. Trump be removed from the state's 2024 presidential ballot. It was the first time that Section 3 of the 14th Amendment was used to disqualify a presidential candidate. Maine's top election official, Democratic Secretary of State Sheena Bellis, then ruled on the 28th of December that Mr. Trump could not run for president in the state, also citing the 14th Amendment. Both rulings are on hold pending appeal, but critics have warned that if the cases move forward, they risk robbing voters of the right to deliver their own verdict on whether the former president should return to the White House. Now, that's what I've said. If you do ban him, it takes the opportunity for you to actually have your democratic say. Its ultimate arbiter will likely be the Supreme Court that Mr. Trump helped shape. Let me just explain what the theory is of the 14th Amendment, because I think this background information is quite important. The 14th Amendment was ratified after the American Civil War, and Section 3 was deployed to bar secessionists from returning to previous government posts once Southern states rejoined the Union. It was used against the likes of Confederate President Jefferson Davis and his Vice President Alexander Stephens, both of whom had served in Congress, but has seldom been invoked since. It reemerged as a political flashpoint in the wake of Mr. Trump's efforts to overturn his 2020 election defeat, which culminated in the riot at the US Capitol in January 21. In the riot's aftermath, the US House of Representatives impeached the then president on a charge of incitement of insurrection. Had the US Senate voted to convict him, it would have had the opportunity to take a second simple majority vote to bar him from ever serving in office again. But that never happened. The Senate failed to reach 2/3 majority required to convict Mr. Trump, so there was no second vote. Does Section 3 apply to Trump? Free speech for people, a group who advocate free speech, has been arguing that it does. Last year, the group filed challenges against 5 Trump-backing lawmakers whom it labeled insurrectionists. One against Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene was heard in court but ultimately defeated. The 14th Amendment was not written solely to apply in the post-Civil War era, but also to future insurrections, says Ron Fine, the organizer's legal direction. He actually said to the BBC, the US Capitol riot succeeded in delaying the peaceful transfer of power for the first time in America's history, which is further than the Confederation ever got. So, how's it all going to end? Well, the case in Colorado challenging Mr. Trump's eligibility was filed by a crew on behalf of 6 state residents. The group is also separately petitioning the top election officials in at least 18 states to remove Mr. Trump from the primary ballots. So there is 18 more potential states that he could be removed from. Mr. Trump's attorney in the Colorado case argued that the twin dismissals in Michigan and Minnesota were evidence of an emerging consensus here across the judiciary. A third dismissal in Arizona has further added their case. The petitioners are asking the court to do something that's never been done in the history of the United States. Scott Gessler, who's one of Trump's people, said, the evidence doesn't come close to allowing the court to do it. So that is the 14th Amendment explained. So it's a bit of a mouthful, but it comes down to just one thing, all right? What are you thinking? Should Trump be removed from the 2024 election ballot? It's not a left, it's not a right, it's not a political thing, despite the fact that, unfortunately, a lot of the loudmouths would like you to think it's against you personally. This line, they're coming for you, they're coming for me, etc. No, it is a straightforward. It goes back to, is Trump the sort of person you wouldn't mind being a babysitter? Is Trump the sort of person you wouldn't mind coming around and being your landlord? Is Trump the sort of person you wouldn't mind being your boss? And no, I don't have Trump derangement syndrome or anything like that. That's the other thing to put out. You're not even allowed to talk about it. It's like they have every single possible answer if you shine a magnifying glass on it. So it is a straightforward question, which we'll leave in the comment section for you to, we'd love to hear your answer. What are you thinking? Because there are, as I said, there are 18 more states, 18 more areas where this could happen. The other side, just looking at the coin flip for one moment, in a situation, anything's possible, where the former president becomes the next president, you can bet your bottom dollar, excuse the cliche, 100%, every single person from Trump downwards and upwards who is against removing Trump from the ballot, should Trump become president, they will put absolutely that whole thing into practice. It will be used against every single political opponent. Every single person that may say something against former guy, doesn't matter how much facts there are, how much truth, it will be remove them from the ballot. You know, was it Mitch McConnell who said, really, being president is just about having the law on your side? We know where the Supreme Court, which side that all lays. But the one thing they can't control is your thoughts. Yeah, they can't. Your views. As we head to 2024, we've decided with regards Epstein, Trump was on the... Trump was, well, in your view, he went to... Very nice. Anyway, he went to the island, and now we'll just finish. Should he be on the poll for election 2024? My personal opinion is that it's probably best it remains, just so that people can have their say. It's nothing worse than your thoughts being like, do you know what I mean? Because I imagine if you want to have your say, you want to have it in the most democratic way where it's recorded. And it doesn't matter how many states remove him, legally, he'll probably be reinstated. So we can have a say now. And in case you haven't had a say on Epstein, comment section is all yours. 2 more things before we go. All right? I'm just going to say it because something else we saying it. Smash that like button. All right? If you're looking at this now, please just press the like button. It's there. Just press the like button. You can subscribe, but smash that like button. And the most important thing, because we're going to run, Yeah, this is the most important thing I have to say to you. We're heading for a new year. It is 2024. I'm not going to do some long sermon, some long speech, and all that stuff. New me, new year, and all that stuff, because everyone goes on a diet. Have you noticed all the messages? 2024 is my year. I'm not going to do all the things I did in 23. I'm going to eat good. I'm going to be healthy, all that stuff. Okay, no problem at all. I would just love to wish you one thing for 2024. Stay healthy, keep smiling, and be nice to each other. Yeah. And sometimes it's just a smile. Doesn't always have to be shouting and aggression, just a kiss and a smile. And can I be the first person? Right. That sounds so insincere. I'm so sorry. Can I just be the first person on any live stream to wish you all the best for 2024? Thank you.